Hello YouTube, it's been a little while since my last video and I had many things happen, and as I'm sure you know the saying, if it wasn't for bad luck I wouldn't have bad luck at all. So I had my car break down and a million other things. Anyway, you don't want to hear that. Meanwhile, I did design my first different shaped panelized PCB. These are all individually designed with Eagle, of course, and I use a program called Panelizer where you can open up a window, you set the size of the PCB, and then you drag and drop the Gerber files of the PCBs you want to be manufactured or panelized, and then you can arrange them like you want. I did initially only have this is actually the new V-Gauge Mini. This is the breakout board for it, and I made a police light for RC cars, and so it was these three designs, and then I had space left over, and then I figured, what the hell, I designed some more PCBs. So I did design, let me start with the smallest one, this little guy here, which I call PicoRTC. This is my version of a RTC module. Normally I use these here, and they used to come with batteries. Now, as it gets harder and harder to get LiPo batteries from China, my last two orders never arrived, and now I have to source them locally for 3 times as much money, but I have no other choice. So these are the ones I was using with my clock. I have few left over. After those are finished, I will be using these here. This is actually the same chip but in a smaller footprint. Actually, here is one. So you see it's quite different. Why the PCB is bigger? The reason is I wanted the option to use a CR1220 battery. What are they called? LiPo batteries also? I don't know. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. 3:30. Anyhow, I wanted the option to use either these batteries that you can solder on, and you have the solder tabs for that on here, and also to use, like I said, the CR1220 battery, so you can just push it on and replace the battery easier. So that's why it got a little longer. Actually, now by looking at it, I could probably shorten it up a little bit. Still room for improvement. So this was my which I call PicoRTC. That's the smallest. And then I have a few of those 0.64 inch OLED displays. As you know, I'm a sucker for OLED displays, so I figured I make a PCB for that one too. So this is this one, and this one I call Pico328 because this is the smallest 328 Atmega chip full function PCB that you can get anywhere, and it even has a layout for the navigation switch I'm using. That would be then on the bottom, like so. And of course the display plugs into, I have to look around the phone like this, on the to the back of it. So it's exactly the same size. Actually the OLED PCB is a little bigger. Of course you can still use this with the 0.96 inch displays, or even with the bigger 1.3 inch, so then it would be really tiny in the back. Anyhow, this has of course the pinout directly for the RTC module, so this can go in piggy bank on here, and this is how it looked like. And then I figured, since I couldn't put 4 LEDs on each corners, I put one on here for D13, and I figured I'd try the side emitting neopixels. These things are tiny, guys. Yeah. As a size comparison, let me get the regular neopixels. This is a regular neopixel that I use on the mini V gauge or on the bigger V gauge. So you see how small these things are. And the pins of it, I think they're like, I'm gonna pronounce it wrong, equivalent to 0402 SMDs, because this is like 4 pins on 4 millimeters. And these are really tiny, and I specially designed a footprint for Eagle for it, because you cannot find them. So I do have now, and that was the first one. And I of course put the solder paste on here by hand. Can you see the small dots here? The 4 ones? Yeah, that's the one. So this is how it looked like when the neopixel is on there. And this is just one, guys. Next PCB was this one. I had this idea for a long time. I used to have this one as a police light on my Tindy store with my specially designed popsicle PCB, which uses the regular Atmega, which I stopped using. So this was the small police light that I had, and this is now out of commission, and this is the new version. This one I call Police Light RC, because it's thought for RC cars. And on this guy you have 14 of those tiny neopixels, and it looks something like this. So I have 6 in the front, 6 in the back, and 2 to the sides. The Pico328 is here. You can program it from the bottom. Here is the ISP header, in case I forget to burn the bootloader on there and solder it, so I can still bootload it. And here I can upload my code with my small USB adapter with pogo pins. I just hold it on there and I can program it. So I wrote a few animations for it. I'll show you in a second. So let me show you the mini V gauge. This is the newest, guys. For anybody that the regular V gauge is too big and too many displays, this is a single display. But instead of a 0.96, it has a 1.3 inch display. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 neopixels. It has a micro SD card underneath. Let me show it like this. And I made the name new, and it looks like nice V gauge mini. I don't know, you can see it maybe on the back better. V gauge mini. So this one uses SATA connectors. I put 2 on there, so I can have the wire go out in any direction I want, even straight out the back. It has, like I said, the micro SD card, and it has the OLED track bootloader on it, so I can upload code from the menu. ISP header and the regular programming header. And yes, that's the one. And the nice thing is the rotary encoder is on the back, as you can see here. So it is on the back. So this is a single PCB unit. I designed a case for it, which will look like this. It's not finished yet, I have to redesign it also. And of course it's not gonna be black, it's gonna be in red. It's gonna be transparent in the front and black in the back, like the police light, which I'll show you in a second. So, oh, it also has a speaker on there. And the breakout board, where is it? It's over here. It has 5-volt inputs, 12-volt inputs, analog and digital. So this can be, obviously, the shift light, gear indicator, GPS. It also has a connection for a GPS module, which I do use the tiny ones here. And it has 12-volt input, voltage regulator and whatnot, and adjustable analog input. And this is the breakout PCB for it. So this will be a 2-piece unit. So now let's come to the fun part. It's been past 10 minutes already. I hope you're still with me, because now it's gonna be... And of course I did design a 3D printed case for it. This is how it looks like. Let me put it in here. It's a snap fit. I just started on one end and push it together, and this is it. And I think it looks quite nice. I did not make it just square. I made it like in this shape. It looks like the Chevy logo, doesn't it? Kinda. So now let's light it up. It has a, it will, not on this one, but it has a voltage regulator, and you can run it up to 15-volt input. And this is how it looked like, guys. The red looks like a little orange here because it's got overexposed. So these are just a few animations I put on here. This is orange or yellow, and this is white in the front and red in the back. The red really looks awful here. How could I do this different? Let me see, I have a piece of paper here. So of course, since it's NeoPixel, you can program any animation you want to it. Yeah, you can see white in the front, red in the black in the back. Oh, my voice is going. And it will have small legs, and it will be screwed from the bottom, and it has holes also for the wires, and it will screw into the 2 holes here. The other 2 are for the wires. It will use M2 screws, and you can mount it from the bottom. This is snap fit. You can even glue this together if you want with either super glue or acetone, which I do use normally on the clock cases. And this is it. And for anybody who wants it, you can make a nice bling bling ring out of this. That would be quite crazy. And it kind of also looks like a bow tie if you make it like flared out. Anyway, I'm babbling. So this is my police light for RC cars. This is the new version. I will put it up on Tindy, and I will write more animations for it. If you want to write your own, you can do so. It's a regular NeoPixel. You can program it through the Arduino IDE. Has 16 NeoPixels on there. And this is the pinout. It starts with 0 here and goes counterclockwise up to 13. So that's how you can program it or write animations for it. Anyhow, this was it. Let me not lose the tiny NeoPixels. This is really a nut job. This is a nut job, guys. Putting the solder paste on here by hand, because I wasn't sure if this is gonna come out okay or not, so I did not order stencil for it. So this is all hand placed solder paste and hand put on there. My pick and place is still not working, or not, it's still not finished. Excuse me, it will work, it's still not finished. So I placed these guys by hand on there, and then at least I can reflow them, which saves a lot of time. But this is real time consuming. Anyhow, I hope you made it this far. If you like it, I will put the files on Thingiverse. If you want to get them there and want to, I don't know, you could probably use it with this guy too, if you have to, if you can find another Arduino fitting in there or any other way. I will share these files. I think this is it. Let me put this out. It's irritating me right now. I forgot. New year, new design on my CNC controller, guys. I now have input protection. Not input protection, but I have diodes in the inputs for the limit switches. So now you can use these nice inductive proximity sensors directly as a limit input. As you might know, these go from 6 to 30 volts. No, this one even from 10 to 30 volts. So since the Arduino is a 5 volt guy, it would normally not work with these, but with the diodes in there, it does work. So now you have a direct connection for that. So that was the small update I did on the CNC controller. This is how it looks like finished. I got rid of the switches and put jumpers on here for the input voltage selection. And also yes, I had some run-ins with customers. Not run-ins, but they just said it's not working for their VFD variable frequency drives for their spindle, and normally the spindles take 0 to 10 volt regular voltage, analog voltage in for the control. And one customer said it's not working, and he said, yeah, my $5 mega does work. And long story short, after I think over 50 emails back and forth, I did put the 5 volt pulse width modulation output on here also. And even though the manual on the VFD says 0 to 10 volt, it does not work with it. It just takes 0 to 5 volt pulse width modulation and not analog voltage. So now I have the 0 to 5 volt pulse width modulation output and a adjustable 0 to 10 volt analog voltage output for real VFDs, because all my VFDs work with this output. And of course you have your spindle output, your coolant, you have a read relay, MOSFET and whatnot. So this is the updated for 2019, as you see here. And these are back in store also. They are now white again. The yellow one is all sold out, and I had to wait a long time for these to come in. And of course, as it always goes, people put them on the side on their wish list, and then it never happens. So anyhow, this is the new 2019 version of my CNC controller. Like I said, with the input now for being able to use either regular micro switches connecting to ground or these nice guys, because I really like those. So you can use these directly, connect them on here and be done with, and you have your 0 to 5 volt pulse width modulation output and 0 to 10 volt out analog voltage adjustable output for real VFDs. Anyhow, oh, by the way, the customer just sent his back. I refunded him and no problem there, and I'm using that for myself. So of course it's working, nothing happened. I thought that it might something got damaged because of the connections he made. Those were some wild connections, and there was a voltage drop and whatnot, and 28 volts on the output, and I don't know, it was a nightmare. Anyhow, my board survived, it's working. This is the nicest, smallest CNC controller board you can get, guys. But if you don't trust me, you feel free to buy something else. This one is of course running Gerbil, the latest. You can upgrade, downgrade, whatever you want to it. You can even run other custom codes on it, as long as the pin mapping is correct. Anyhow, it's been over 20 minutes, it's almost 4 o'clock, and I'm ready to go to bed. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. I might even make a how-to video with the penalizing, because I searched a long time and I found just one program that really works and is easy enough to do to get a result like this. And this does save you money on PCB cost substantially. So since I'm paying for my PCBs, this is a good way to keep the prices low, otherwise it would be just too expensive. So this was it. Thanks for watching. Have a good morning, because in America you are almost waking up, I think. Oh no? Yo, you're going to sleep. This way around. Anyhow, take care, guys. Thanks for watching. Be safe.